XRP Future Millionaire. It's Wednesday, March 5th, 2025 at 10:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to do an update because I really feel like this is the most overlooked sector, and I talk about it every single day in the live in some fashion the best I can. But the mining stocks, with how gold and silver has been moving, the mining stocks are what is, if you find the right miners, remember, these are what is taking this gold and silver out of the ground. So if you feel like commodities are going to, or precious metals are going to go up, you know, a significant amount, you would want to be buying these miners, and they're giving them away still. Like, yeah, I'm surprised today that First Majestic's up 5%. I didn't even realize that until I did this video just now. And Fortuna's up 2.6%, but still down at 439. B2 Gold's been destitute, down at $2.74. Barrick Gold, a very big producer, is only at $18.24. Remember, all of these except Fortuna Silver Mines are dividend-paying mining companies. And Newmont Mining is the world's largest mining company. And if you look at their chart, they are always a big indicator of what's coming for the mining stocks. The world's largest producer. If I'm not mistaken here, if you look at that in the weekly, that looks like a pretty big inverse head and shoulders that is just begging for people to buy it and not be, you know, and trying to break out here, it looks like. But anything can happen. The cheaper they go, the more I'm buying at this point. I'm just being transparent. I bought and I've had mining stocks, and they're up a nice, like, some of them are up 1x from where I bought them, but other ones like B2 Gold, it's up like a couple percent now. It hasn't moved hardly any, and it's allowed me for a couple of years to be playing the game to further accumulate what I own. But they also pay dividends. In B2 Gold's case, it's paying out like a 6% dividend right now. It's insanity. And it just continues to grow. But these are looking like they're begging. They're begging us. Like anybody who's paying attention to the mining stocks, they're begging. They look like they're putting in this rounding formation. They've broken out of a descending wedge. And now it looks like they got bigger invert. And this is just a small frame that I showed that roundabout. Now it's starting to happen. But if you watch the lives, I dig into this a lot more. Kind of back to my roots here a little bit with the phone, because my tablet's at the hotel and I have to wait to reload that video from this morning. So I'm not going to get into XRP and all that because it's going to be in the video when I get back there at 11:30 after I pick up my son from school. But I wanted to talk about the mining stocks real quick. And it won't be maybe 300 people will watch this, or 500 people if I'm lucky. But these look like they're building that inversion now. That inverse head and shoulders. I mean, they just look like they're building through. This one's a slight bit different because of the way the pattern's set up. But if you look at it from farther out, it also looks like it's in an inverse setup as well. But they are begging to be paid attention to, these stocks. And if they fall, and I'm going to buy more. And this isn't to tell you to buy it today. It's just to remember, if the gold and silver is going to continue to appreciate like we think, the mining stocks, as they start to do earnings in especially Q2 and 3 of this year, that's when it's going to get interesting. Q1 was always speculative. Q2 and into 3 is going to be unbelievable, because look at the pricing that they're going to have, that they're going to be reporting on. And now some of the miners, they went down initially after earnings and when they did their earnings and revenue, because in some of their stuff when they were talking through it, they talked about how they weren't going to pull as much gold and silver out of the ground, or they hadn't pulled as much because they were waiting to take it out. And people were saying it was a bad thing. Oh, look, they have less ounces. No, they already had enough on hand to make their sales and run their business and have large profits. But what they decided to do last year was not pull as much out. And now all of a sudden that move looks smart, because it's gone from 1,700 to almost 3,000. So now all that gold they didn't pull out of the ground and mine when it was that cheap, look how much more they're getting now when they mined it in 25. That's why Q2 and 3 is going to be very interesting. A lot of these mining companies had a similar philosophy. So it's going to be a very, very interesting, you know, mid 2025 and late 25 for these mining companies. I have a very strong feeling that anybody who plays the mining sector with me and they pay attention to, like, and I'm not a financial advisor, so what the hell do I really know? But I you know, my mining companies, to put it in perspective, it's growing. It's a rapidly growing portfolio. And with the dividends being reinvested, my shares became larger. And like with Newmont, I have 102 shares roughly. With Barrick Gold, what did I get up to? I have, I don't remember. I just, shoot, Barrick Gold, I don't remember how much it was. I know with First Majestic and Fortuna Silver Mines, I have just over 1,000 shares each. B2 Gold, just over 3,000 shares because dividends get reinvested. Barrick Gold would have been, I put $4,000 into it when I did it, and it was at 15 something, but I can't remember how many shares it was. So whatever that ends up coming out to, I have that many shares of that as well. Because 100 shares would be $1,800. Oh, 222 shares, duh. I think it was 222 for a reason. So yeah, so I have a rather large amount invested and already gained in mining stocks. I think it's just around 25,000 now is my mining stocks. But I like to have different portfolios, some in mining, but dividend paying ones outside of Fortuna, because Fortuna Silver Mines actually mines a little bit of gold as well. And they're just a very undervalued company, and you'd just have to look into it. But you know, I'm not saying this is the best day to buy or the worst day to buy. I'm continuing to talk about the mining sector like I've been since 21. At a time I said that we had to wholesale and wait for a while, which isn't always the best philosophy, but I seen a big drop coming and we were right, fortunately. And ever since 23, we've been able to kind of play this a little bit. And now we sit here in 25, and I think we're in pretty good shape here. I'm not looking to sell anymore. Everything I do in the mining section is just accumulation now. Even if it drops 50% from here, it's just reaccumulation and adding on over the top. I should say not reaccumulation, but over the top, because I've never had more shares combined. And now, like with crypto, with all good trades that I make in the mining sector, I started with B2 Gold with 3,500. Well, all this time I was trading B2 Gold and make money, I started flipping it. So if I had 3,500 and I made, let's say 1,500, when I sold, I'd wait until I could buy it back cheaper when I thought it was going to have that kind of downturn. And then the next time I put the money, 3,500 back into B2 Gold, the rest into another company. And now it's spiraled to where I've got Fortuna, First Majestic, B2 Gold, Barrick Gold, Newmont Mining. Yeah, so it's a weird thing. And then, you buy precious metals as well. But for me, it's the side of, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to buy precious metals because how do I buy and sell them? I'm not looking to buy and sell precious metals, ladies and gentlemen. That's my wealth. So I like to trade the mining sector. If you got that gambling hand or you want to make some money and then have to put it back into the conservative currency of your choice, where you live. But that's just my take. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I have been talking about this. And my forte before I started crypto, I started off in the stock market, but then I really honed in the commodity sector, and I made enough money to where I was like, I know I can do this. But then I would always get bored on the weekends, and I didn't like Forex. I think there's too much there. It's just too much. There's too much. Too many wide varieties, too many wide variants, and just too many wide players that you can't account for because we're only in the USA, but it's a little different with Forex. I know the rest of them are worldwide, but it's just different. You're lumping, it's just different. So I seen crypto, and that's when I was like, oh my God, this is it. If I understand this, if I can play this the way I'm supposed to over the next 5 or 10 years with where we were at in the stages in 21, well, I first started studying it in 2020, but you get my picture as far as the charting in 21 because I started my channel. I knew if we did it right by 2032 between the commodities and the crypto, and people are like, oh my God, 2032, that's 11 years from 2021. Well, guess what? Now it's only 6 years from where we are right now. Isn't it crazy how time flies? And I used to say March 28th, but I looked at my first video. March 24th was my first day on YouTube. So March 24th, 2021 is when I started YouTube. And that was my first day. And 4 years later, almost, in a couple weeks, and I've not missed a day here. So I am here every single day preaching the same message, standing behind what I believe in, and just showing you my historical data along the way. That's all I've been doing here for 4 years. Yes, I might be good at the charts. Yes, I might give you ideas. Yes, you might piggyback off of what I'm doing, but I'm only giving you my historical data. That's it. I'm not going outside of what I do. I'm not going outside of what I think. So that's just how I do things. But there's going to be a lot of compelling stuff with crypto. There's going to be compelling stuff with commodities. And right now, remember, money finds yield somewhere. So right now, people are finding yield within commodities today. So with all the tariff talk, because people don't understand it for the most part, tariffs, ladies and gentlemen, don't be tricked. I want you guys to be smart. I don't want you to feel like buffoons or feel like you're an idiot, or, you know, or they want to make us feel like we're dumb and we don't understand. When we do a tariff and they do a 20% tariff, Trump puts a 20% tariff on Mexico, let's say, right? Everybody in America cheers like a bunch of idiots. We're the ones paying that 20% tariff because Mexico raises the prices 20% to send it over here, ladies and gentlemen. The person who receives that export is paying for it. The U.S. is receiving that export. Now, when they put a 20% tariff on the U.S. and their citizens are like, yeah, or fuck the USA. Ladies and gentlemen, now your country is paying the 20% tariff just like our country is paying. Don't be dumb. Don't let them make you feel stupid. That's the dog and pony show. They don't educate us at school, so we don't really know what's going on. That's the truth about tariffs. So I hear everybody talk about it, and it drives me nuts because nobody seems to understand what it really means. So take that for what it's worth. I'm going to stop talking before I get banned, and don't overlook the commodity sector.